Hey everyone, welcome to week 6.
Yes, six. Pretty soon I'm gonna have to have like 3 hands to do this. I'm on the second hand right now.
We are gonna have to go to starting to use our feet and toes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's episode 6 of the Lucas and Lee podcast. It is the Thanksgiving weekend one. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving. So I wanted to first say I'm thankful for our friendship. I remember the first time I met you. You were a crazy University of Pacific alumni.
I was.
With the floor seats, and my favorite part of the University of Pacific games was watching you. I had a front row seat because I was right across the court from you.
There were people who actually feared for my medical well-being.
Yes.
Watching me at UOP basketball games. Back in the day. Now we do during Florida games. Now that's what I do during Florida games. Yeah. I was, my niece got married this past weekend, and the wedding was at 2:30 in the afternoon, and which happened to be right in the middle of the second half of the Florida LSU game. So every time I made sure the priest during the ceremony was not looking, I would pull my phone out, see what the score was.
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. But it is Thanksgiving weekend, and a lot of people have started new relationships. And I know you're the relationship guy. I'm definitely not the relationship guy. I've only brought home maybe 2 girls to Thanksgiving dinner. How long do you date somebody before you bring them home for the holidays?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think there's an infinite timeline. I think it's on the comfort level of both participants in the relationship and how serious. I mean, are you guys exclusive? Are you guys just talking? Is it just a special friend? A lot of it depends. Honestly, I look at, my marriage, and, we were together for 2 years before we got married, and both those years, and mind you, we started dating each other in April of 2018. I started dating April in April. And she never came to see my parents or spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with me, believe it or not.
Wow.
It should have been a sign, but you always had a reason why she did not want to come spend Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Now, did you spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with her family or not at all?
Well, her family's in Oregon. But I would spend Thanksgiving either evening or morning at her place with her and her son. And then Christmas morning, I would wake up Christmas morning there with her and her son, and we would do Christmas together. And then her son, because obviously they had a custody agreement, her son at noon would go to his dad, and she just apparently didn't feel like celebrating Christmas after her son left, and just I went to go to my family's, and she would pack up all the Christmas stuff.
What's interesting is that we are different in a lot of ways and similar in some ways as well. My biggest regret about the holidays is that I always spent my holidays with my ex-wife's family and not my own. I never went home for my holiday because it was kind of the agreement that, her family came first, I guess. And I used to go visit my dad. My dad lived far away, and I would fly in and see him at Christmas. And, the last time I did that was 2001. And when he passed in 2009, he passed right before Christmas. I sat there and I thought, gosh, all of those holidays with my dad were missed. So I think that in a relationship, I think that spending the holidays, time doesn't really matter. I think that it's more about appreciating your family, and making sure you're with your family as well as your significant other's family. I think that's super important.
There needs to be some balance and some compromise. The big C there, compromise. To where, even if your families are far apart, you set aside some time during the holidays to make sure you spend time with your family and you spend time with your partner's family.
Yeah.
I think that is very, very extremely important. And I think you do need to give due deference. I mean, look, my ex-wife never wanted to come spend Thanksgiving or Christmas, with my family, and I never pushed her.
Yeah, I don't think you should. I think
Never pushed her on it. She had her reasons for why she didn't want to, but I think there needs to be some compromise in there because and you had just mentioned, her family was more important. No, family's not more important.
Exactly.
And anytime you have a partner who does take that tack, well, we got to spend it with my family because my family's more important. That's a recipe for a relationship. Ain't gonna last long.
Yeah. And then I did go to somebody's Thanksgiving dinner. I had just started dating her, and I was told we're going as friends.
Oh my!
And that's always an awkward thing because I think everybody knows that you're not friends. We had hooked up the night before in my house, and then I had to go in and act like we were just friends.
That brings my first serious girlfriend in college. My first serious girlfriend, the infamous Chelsea Delamas, or as my sister called her, Lion Hair. Oh yeah. And there was a reason. You guys can all picture it. But I remember taking her home for Thanksgiving. We went down for Thanksgiving because she was up here. It was from the LA area, but was going to school up here in Stockton at UOP. And I remember walking in, and it was at my Aunt Joyce's where we always have Thanksgiving. She always has that infamous green Jell-O that literally zero people like. I'm sorry, Aunt Joyce, but zero people.
Do you still eat it?
No,
you don't even attempt to eat it then.
I do not attempt to eat the green Jell-O. Like, I stopped that at age 10. But, we walk in, and my aunt, and they had some friends of my Aunt Joyce. They had some of her friends there. And she introduced, oh, this is my nephew Lee's friend. And even the friends were like, we're pretty sure they're more than friends. Yeah. So that charade, mind you, it wasn't a charade I perpetuated. It was a charade my Aunt Joyce was trying to perpetuate. I totally messed up that word. And no one was falling for that shtick.
Yeah. Don't do the charade. If you're going over to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, chances are you're not friends.
Not friends.
You don't bring a friend for Thanksgiving.
Friends.
Unless they're alone and they have nobody else. Because usually you go into someplace where it's so special. But if you do, I've had this tendency to date people and start dating them right before the holidays. Because this is a time of year where a lot of women get lonely and they want to find somebody to date, and then they dump them in March. I have been the victim of that, because you have Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, New Year's in there, and then right after Valentine's Day, it's over and it's done with. I've been the victim of that a number of times, where the breakup happens late February, early March. But if you did just start dating somebody right around Thanksgiving, should you buy them a Christmas gift?
Yes. But with a caveat.
What's the caveat?
It can't be overwhelming or outlandish, okay? If you start dating someone like just before Christmas, you're not going to go out and get them a Tiffany's bracelet, okay?
So no Louis Vuitton store.
All the guys out there that are tuning in and are like, I just started dating someone, should I get him for Christmas? Let me clue you in, okay? Let me clue you in. You don't go out and get the Louis Vuitton purse. You don't just overwhelm them with something extravagant. Hopefully, gentlemen, while you're dating your significant other, you're listening to them and either like personal stories or what they like or what they're into or what they've been into as a kid, and you get them something nice and cute that is in relation to that. Mm-hmm. Not overwhelming, but something that basically says, oh my God, you've been listening.
Yeah, that's a fantastic advice. If you have been in a relationship a long time, I have the perfect gift for your significant other. It works like wonders. It's a book. They have this place, it's called Love Book, and you punch all kinds of information into this book, or into the website, and then it makes a book, a hardcover book, like a children's book, and it's got cartoon figures, and it's all about how you met and your whole relationship.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, so if you find a significant other, Lee, that you fall in love with, That is the perfect gift. It works every time.
Also, I know one of our listeners, Christina, is out there tuning in, and I would suggest you get Farkas a copy of A Christmas Story for his Christmas gift this year.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, coming up on the podcast next week, we're going to go over Christmas songs and Christmas movies.
Yes.
That's coming up on a future podcast next week.
Best Christmas bangers of all time.
Yes. There aren't any Thanksgiving bangers, unfortunately.
There's the Adam Sandler.
Yeah, you got one song, right?
Adam Sandler banger. Yes, thank you.
But Thanksgiving is a chance where everybody sits down at the table and they talk. And do you take the traditional route of sitting there and bash the Cowboys? Or do you bring up politics at the dinner table this year? Because everyone is talking about politics right now.
So, for me, for Thanksgiving, the preferred route for yours truly would be to just bash the Cowboys, especially this year, because it's so much fun. So much fun.
Awful.
So much fun to bash the Cowboys. That being said, we all know what my given profession is, and I always get asked or drawn into political questions. Now, this year will be super fun because my brother is super MAGA.
Oh, wow.
There's MAGA.
So your brother, your blood brother?
My blood brother. Oh, yeah. There's MAGA, there's super MAGA, and then there's my brother. He's like somewhere up here.
So does he wear the red hat?
Oh, yeah, he totally
He does have a red hat?
He has a red hat.
He has a red...
Oh, 100%. Still love my brother.
Does he have American flag on his truck?
I haven't seen lately, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Still love my brother. He's my brother. Love him to death. But he is super duper MAGA. And he probably will, go around and boast, oh, Donald Trump's your president now, blah, 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 blah. And, look, in cases like that, I know he's trying to goad me. He tried to do it at my niece's wedding this weekend. I know he's trying to goad me. And if you're in that position, don't take the bait. Do not revert to bashing the Cowboys. Revert to saying how much you like dark meat over white meat, because dark meat is better than white meat on a turkey. I will die on that hill 24/7.
Yeah, I agree with that with the turkey. And politics, I do love discussing politics. I don't like arguing it, though. And unfortunately, it seems like whenever I start talking politics, the voices start to get louder and louder.
And here's the problem. I think if we were in 1995 or 1985,
great discussions.
We could discuss politics. But no, it's 2024, and we are in the age of social media silos, and that, if anything, has led to the greatest division between people with political ideologies in our nation's history. Because everyone's in their little silo. They're only listening to people they want to listen to. They're not listening to the other side and saying, maybe they have a good idea. No, they're listening to people who reinforce what they think, left or right. They're in their little silos, and they get mad because in their little silos, everyone's been agreeing with them. Everyone's been telling them they're right.
So if somebody challenges them, they lose.
Yes.
I do have something really cool, though, that I would love to wear to a Thanksgiving dinner. They could create controversy for older folks. I have a mesh Fritz and Ferraro hat.
What is a Fritz and Ferraro hat?
Mondale. Walter Mondale.
Oh, Walter Mondale.
The guy who won one state. I think he only won Minnesota.
No, wait, hold on. He won Minnesota and the District of Columbia.
Okay, Minnesota.
He got 10 electoral votes.
Yeah. I think that's probably the only time in history that Massachusetts voted Republican.
You might be right. You might be, maybe Dwight Eisenhower.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, politics is very exciting to talk about, but there are fights involved with it. It is a lot more exciting than the football games on Thanksgiving.
Football games on Thanksgiving suck this year.
Garbage. So you have the Lions playing the Bears, right?
Well, that's tradition. Even if it's a garbage game because the Bears are going to get boat raced.
Yeah.
That's tradition.
It's
That's
old
fine.
School teams.
That's
but it's
fine.
not a fun game, though. I want to see a competitive game.
Well, that's the thing. So maybe they thought the Bears are going to be competitive. because they have a new quarterback and they put a lot of pieces around him. So it's going. And earlier in the year, you could say, "Hey, it's going to be a competitive game." Now it's going to be a trash game. However, I want to know what the network people were thinking when they put the New York Giants, who we all know were going to be trash this year, in a Thanksgiving game versus the Dallas Cowboys, who are equally as trash.
And Danny DeVito's son is starting for the New York Giants. Danny DeVito's son is the quarterback and starting that game on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh my God, I think he's still living at home with his mom.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito.
Eating the chicken cutlets.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, the chicken parm.
Then the game at night is awful too. It's the Packers-Dolphins.
Well, I will cut the network powers that be some slack because that wasn't supposed to be a garbage game. The Dolphins were supposed to be good, and then, Tua took a knock. And they kind of went.
It's almost like his name.
It is.
That's a good one.
Tua, got a little concussion protocol, and the Packers just, they barely beat the Bears.
Well, they're losing this weekend to the San Francisco 49ers.
They better lose.
And that is going to be the game that reignites the 49ers season. Everybody's walking around saying the 49ers are done, and they're not done. They only have 2 more losses on their schedule.
So, quick history lesson. 1988.
Yes.
1988, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. As most of you remember, they were 10-6 that year, and it was Montana to Taylor with 36 seconds left. Yeah. They were 5-5 before they finished off the season with 5 straight wins, and there was that Monday night game against the Bears that they played all the second stringers because they already had it wrapped up. And then the rest is history. Joe Montana with the greatest play in Super Bowl history. Forget you, Eli Manning, and your wide receiver catching it on his helmet. Greatest play in Super Bowl history. And they won. They were world champions. So, you know what? That is going to happen yet again.
Yeah, and I believe so. Because I've actually been talking to a lot of people because everybody throws out the fact, well, Joe and Jerry were on the 88 team, and I will give you that. But Christian McCaffrey's better than Roger Craig. George Kittle's better than Brent Jones. Fred Warner's better than Bill Romanowski. So, and Nick Bosa, I think, is definitely better than anybody in the defensive line in the 1988 team. So I think we have a shot.
Fun fact, Nick Bosa is also my nephew Harrison's favorite player.
Nice.
Wants to go around calling himself Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa is a great football player. He's a great football player. So I have the 49ers finishing 10-7. Their only 2 losses will be when they go to Buffalo and when they go to Detroit.
Oh man, that.
They play Detroit here. I think they play Detroit here.
They play Detroit here.
Yeah, those are their 2 losses.
That Buffalo game scares me.
Yeah, they'll lose to Buffalo, and everybody's going to say it's over because we're going to beat the Packers. It'll be 6-5. Then we lose to Buffalo, and it's 6-6, and everybody's like, "The season's over!" Yeah! And then they're going to go on a win streak and lose to Detroit, and then the season's over! Yeah! And then they're going to make the playoffs, and then they're going to beat Detroit in the playoffs.
One would hope.
I think they can.
One would hope.
Shame on that coach. I know that coach walks on water, but what he did on Sunday, and he gets a pass for that, literally because they were throwing the ball when they're up like 40, it was like 41-6 or whatever it was, and they're throwing the ball.
Okay, here's my take on that, and it's going to be an unpopular one, and I don't care. These are grown professional men. If you don't like it, stop it. Okay, this isn't Pee-wee. This isn't even high school. Okay, it's much like, when like Alabama boat races, like Western Carolina, 76-0.
I get that though, but they have to, don't they have to for ranking in college football? Like that matters, like strength of schedule.
Even before the rankings and strength of schedule and the BCS playoff and all that fun stuff, they would boat race them. And literally, I want to say it was Barry Switzer and his old Oklahoma teams that would say, "You don't like it, stop us."
Well, I remember they scored 73 points. But what I will say, though, is that why not sit your start? Jared Goff was out there when it was like 49-6.
That's dumb.
Jared Goff was still in the game.
That's asking for your starting quarterback to get hurt.
Because I will say this. I have a caveat to my thing. If you have the second string in there and you can't stop the second string and they score and then it winds up being like 52-6, I mean, what can you do, right? You put your second string in there. But when you have Jared Goff and you have your starters in the game when it's 49-6, and then you kick a field goal to make it 52-6, yeah. I hope he gets some karma during the playoffs.
Karma as in a loss, yes, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
So who had the worst week ever?
So, there were some challengers that popped up today, but instead of the worst week ever, I'm going to go for the most clueless week ever.
Okay, the most clueless.
Once again, I'm looking at the Cavender twins. Okay, you two just don't get it. Okay, apparently it's Carson Beck's birthday today.
Okay.
And what does one of the I can't tell those Cavender twins apart.
No, nobody can.
What does one of the Cavender twins puts up? Happy birthday to the best quarterback in the nation. Okay, number one, you obviously don't watch much college football.
Probably not.
If you're saying Carson Beck is the best quarterback in the nation. Second, have you not learned anything from the heat that both he and you guys have been receiving over the last few weeks? Literally, the entire state of Georgia is blaming you, Cavender twins, for the fact that their offense stinks. And it does, and that even came from a Georgia fan who, was complaining that their offense stinks, was complaining about their offensive coordinator, but most importantly, complaining about the Cavender twins because they have clearly cursed Carson Beck. And instead of, hey, it's the season, let's soften our approach. No. More Instagram influencer votes going on the TikTok saying Carson Beck is the best quarterback in the land. Not only applying way more heat on Carson Beck, but once again proving that the Cavender twins are indeed two of the most clueless people on the planet.
And annoying. Annoying and clueless.
Annoying is an understatement.
Yeah. And I'm going to go after all the people that bashed me when I said the Chargers were going to be in the playoffs this year and they were a good team. They are 7-3 right now. They're going to make the playoffs. It was mostly Raider fans that came after me, too.
So, Raider fans have zero room to talk, okay? Raider fans, you have zero room to talk. I mean, you can't even go out and complain that Stagg High School's football team isn't doing well because they could probably beat you on a bad day. That's how bad you guys are, Raider fans. But no, I think everyone knows the actual worst week ever goes to Netflix.
Oh!
Goes to Netflix.
Yeah. Yes, that was a bad buffer.
That was just...
Buffering.
That was... Come on, Netflix. How much money do you guys have? Seriously. How much talent do you guys have? And you can't get the buffering for a fight that, 18.8 million people were trying to stream?
There were 60 million people watching that.
Oh my God.
60 million. That's like Super Bowl numbers.
That is Super Bowl numbers. That is
million.
And
it was buffering. It kept buffering. And then at first I thought it was my TV. And then I'm seeing everybody talk about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. And I exited out. Then it took me a long time to get back in. And the fight was awful.
Oh, it was bad.
Awful.
Awful. Apparently, because I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep. It was a long day. Yeah. It was a very long day.
As every day is for you.
As every day is for me. But I laid on the couch to watch, and I dozed off, and I didn't wake up until it was all done. I fell asleep.
You didn't miss anything.
I fell asleep at the end of the women's boxing match, which apparently was way more, I thought at least. It was way more exciting. Probably the best match of the night.
Unfortunately, they picked the wrong person to win it. So there had to be controversy with
Come on, it's boxing. Yeah. We all know they have the East German judge in there somewhere. Yeah. So, but Netflix, come on, dude. And not only that, Netflix has a major Christmas Day game.
Yeah, it's the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game, right?
The Pittsburgh-Kansas City game
is on Netflix. Doing
the
halftime show.
And so, Netflix, you might want to get in on that super duper quick and get that fixed.
Yeah, because NFL fans will not be polite.
No.
Especially the Steeler fans.
Oh.
Steeler fans are... The Steeler... First of all, I don't know that Steeler fans even know how to use Netflix. So...
Look, I've been to the wonderful Berg.
Yeah.
I've been to the Berg. I think they know how to use Netflix.
Okay, let's hope.
Probably never getting invited back to the Berg ever again after this show.
And that's a good thing.
At least in the middle of February.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that is our show. We are back next week with the post-Thanksgiving show. But it is Thanksgiving, so definitely I'm so thankful for you, Lee. We get to do this show. We have such a good time.
I'm thankful for you, buddy.
I love you, brother. We get to do the show and have a good time. I mean, what better thing than get to do a podcast with your friend every single week and have such a blast doing it. So I'm thankful for you.
Everyone have a fantastic Thanksgiving with your friends, family, and loved ones. And we will see you next week.
The Cowboys will lose again.